China quietly built 7 military bases in the middle of the ocean. Bomber runways, missile systems, radar arrays. But these bases weren't built on natural islands. They were constructed directly on top of submerged coral reefs. They dredged over 3,200 acres of artificial land. 2,400 football fields of new land, built in 3 years. The largest land reclamation project in human history. Fiery Cross Reef. Before 2013, it was a rock, barely visible at high tide. 4 years later, a fully operational military base. 3,000-meter runway, hardened aircraft hangars, surface-to-air missiles. So how does China justify claiming 90% of a sea that touches 6 different countries? With a line, drawn by hand on a map. 1947. The Republic of China, not the current government, the previous one, drew 11 dashes around the South China Sea. No coordinates, no legal framework, no defined boundary, just dashes. Later, 2 dashes were removed, a goodwill gesture to Vietnam, and that is the entire legal basis for a $1 trillion territorial claim. 9 dashes, ink on paper. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration, the closest thing the world has to a Supreme Court for countries, ruled on this claim. Unanimous decision, the 9-dash line has no legal basis under international law. China's response, null and void. They refuse to recognize it. One of the most brazen rejections of international law by a major power in modern history. 6 countries claim pieces of the sea: China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, Taiwan. Only one turned its claims into fortresses. Forget the legal arguments. Look at what's sitting on those reefs. Anti-ship cruise missiles, the YJ-12B, 295-mile range. Surface-to-air missiles, the HQ-9B, capable of taking down anything flying. Close-in weapon systems, radar arrays, hardened bunkers. Military analysts call it the Great Wall of Sams. An overlapping missile net stretched across one of the busiest waterways on Earth. $3.4 trillion in goods pass through this water every year. Container ships, oil tankers, cargo freighters, all threading through a corridor lined with anti-ship missiles. The United States Navy does not accept this. Freedom of navigation operations. The Navy deliberately sails warships within 12 nautical miles of China's artificial islands. 12 miles, the distance that, under international law, defines a country's sovereign waters. China sends warships to intercept. They close to within 150 yards. At that distance, there is no time to react. One miscalculation, one rogue captain, one wave that pushes a hull too close, and this becomes a shooting war between nuclear powers. If China fully controls this sea, it holds a choke point over Japan's economy, South Korea's economy, Taiwan's economy, most of Southeast Asia, entire nations held hostage by missile batteries sitting on crushed coral. This is the most dangerous territorial dispute on Earth, and most people have never heard of it. 7 reefs that used to be underwater. Now they might decide who controls the 21st century.